Hey Feldman,
Hello, Mr. Jaffe.
how are you today?
I'm well, sir. How are you?
I am all the better to hear your voice. Have you heard of a company called Groupon?
Yes.
Uh, what is Groupon?
Can't tell you. They're the coupon people, the daily deal people.
Well, they're actually a very interesting company. Groupon is kind of like a social commerce meets flash mob meets app company. I mean, coupons, yes, actually, Coupon is probably the kernel at the center of Groupon. But what they've done, and they're building out in different local markets, kind of like Craigslist did, the idea is that they come with one offer per day, daily deal, right? And if enough people not bid, but actually buy that offer or commit to buying that offer, then the group is on. It's like, the deal is on. So it's kind of like enough people have to come together and obviously commit to making a purchase for this deal then to be activated. The concept of unlocking a code, like on FourSquare today, that it's not available and now it is available because you've done something, because you've acted, because you've become a mayor, whatever the case may be. What's interesting about Groupon, of course, is the idea is that if you see a deal or exposed to a deal that you think is so compelling, naturally what we want is for that person to tell other people. But now there's an incentive to tell them, because if they tell enough people, then the Groupon deal is on. Well, Groupon had a banner day, August 19th, I believe, where they brought a recognized brand into the fray. They've done deals, I've seen it, local deals in New York with a car company or car service company you've never heard of. And for that reason, what a great way from an awareness standpoint or introducing a brand to a new market. But Gap is a company that everyone has heard of. And on one particular day on August 19th, they did $11 million worth of Groupon sales. 445,000 people took advantage of a pretty compelling deal, 50% off. Basically, if you spend $50 or more, you got a $25 coupon or $25 discount. So it's buy one, get one free. That's a pretty big discount. And so if you take a very compelling offer for a very recognized, well-known brand, it's almost obvious that this deal would have taken off. But I don't know that it's that obvious as well, because we're looking at social media and social commerce, and we look at apps and we say, is the market there? Is the scale there? Is the reach there? And I think part of the answer is it's not about reach, it's about composition. The numbers, in fact, are there. The real question is, how do you get everybody in a small space to kind of switch on, to Groupon, so to speak? Because if the numbers are there, let's think about quality versus quantity. But still, that's not the point. The point is that these platforms are growing radically, exponentially. And on one particular day, Groupon had its stellar day, its banner day. If you didn't know about them, now you do. Because now 450,000 people started to connect and started to come together and started to actually vote and started to purchase and transact. But what about Gap? Were they the big losers or the big winners? Some people said that they were big losers because in actual fact, they could have earned $22 million, but instead they only earned $11 million because of the discount. And then they also had to pay Groupon, which some people believe is close to about 50% of the overall revenue associated with the deal. But Gap? I mean, has Gap been in your consideration set lately? Gap is almost a forgotten brand. So one might argue to the contrary that in fact Gap, benefited more from Groupon than Groupon benefited from Gap, because Gap got 450,000 people to walk into their stores. 450,000 people that either had never walked in or had forgotten about Gap. So what a great opportunity for them to reconnect and get a second chance and a second bite. And two final points. Remember that most people who shop probably aren't just going to go in and spend $50 to get their $25. They may very well, especially if they're good salespeople, spend $70 or $80 or $90 or $100 or even more. And second of all, shopping is a social experience when you do it with somebody that you care about, with a friend or family member. So it's very likely that two people walked into the store, and whether those were two people with two Groupon coupons or not doesn't matter. What a great, interesting insight and almost crystal ball representation of where commerce is going and what happens when social media and when community meets commerce. Jaffe@power.com, @JaffeJuice on Twitter.
It's time to flip the funnel now. Pick up a copy of my new book, available wherever books are sold.